my job to do YouTube full time towards the end of March. And I realized that I am kind of sedentary. I've been working a desk job for 20 years. And then I was just going to be doing more kind of stuff like that with YouTube. So I decided I needed to do something about that. And I wanted to try to up my walking. I realized I wasn't really walking much or standing, even though I had a standing desk. So what can I do about that? I live kind of rural. It's not always safe to go walk out here because you don't have sidewalks and stuff. But there are, treadmills. There are parks I could go to. But a lot of that's, a half hour, 45 minutes away. So I started looking at treadmills that could go under my standing desk. And I thought, yeah, that'd be a pretty good idea. Although I've actually not been at my standing desk much since I decided to go full-time YouTube. But I went ahead and picked up one anyway, and I like it. I can move it to the living room when I'm watching TV, when I just need to decompress. I have to babysit lasers in the garage when I'm doing stuff with those, so I can take it out there. It's like 50 pounds, I think, or something, so it's pretty easy to move. And I can just set it down and look out the window while I babysit the lasers. I can take it into my office and put it under my standing desk. So I decided, okay, let's try to do 5 miles a day for 30 days. I decided to start that in April. I was pretty happy with the results. I did considerably increase my daily average. And yeah, we can take a look at that on the spreadsheet. But I also just kind of want to talk about that treadmill. So let me go show it to you. So here it is. It's the EGOFIT ComfortDeck-M2, as you can clearly see on the belt. That took a little bit of effort to get that to be placed right there. It's not plugged in right now. Normally I have it over here and I'll look out this window, but I've been trying to reorganize the garage, as you can see, and I had to get a new mower. So yeah, we're trying to get up to the attic. So everything's been moved and I got bikes everywhere. And yeah, so I have it sitting right there right now instead of where I usually use it out here. But again, I do use this in the living room. I use it in my office. And yeah, I really like it. It does have a remote control, so you can adjust the speed and everything. I'll show you that in a little bit. And, you do want to lubricate it every so often. It comes with a couple of bottles for doing that. You can just pick up some silicone lubricant or whatever. It says in the manual what to get. And yeah, you just lubricate it every once in a while. So far, it's been holding up great. We'll look at the total mileage and see how much I put on this, roughly. Some of my walking is just around the property because, I do have a half acre. So when I cut the grass, it ends up being about 2 miles, 2.5 miles. Sometimes a little more, depending on how tall the grass is and if I have to do smaller strips. But yeah, it's really been helping me get to that 5 mile a day goal, especially on today's days like today where it's really rainy. It's rained all day yesterday. Today it's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to rain Thursday. So it's like, do I really want to go walk in the humidity and stuff? When instead I could just use this thing. And again, it's pretty light. It is a little awkward to pick up, but if you just grab it by either side and kind of bear hug it, it's not too bad. And I can just transport it in and out of the house into other rooms and stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and get some shoes on. I got my Crocs on right now. Don't want to walk in those. Get some shoes on and show you a little bit of action with it. So like I said, you just got the little remote and it's got the little lanyard, so you put it on your wrist because you want to hold on to it. And we just hit play button, the standard play button, and it'll start moving. And then you just got an up and down and a pause. It's kind of hard to walk on it when it's at this slow speed, so let me turn it up some. There we go. And you kind of get the idea here. So again, now that I've changed angles, it appears I brought some styrofoam in from the garage. We'll just go ahead and hit the play again. It does a 3-second countdown, and then it'll start going again. Let's get it up to a decent walking speed there. And yeah. So occasionally it will make the belt scraping noise. When that happens, it's usually because I'm walking too far into the front and I'm hitting the roller, or too far in the back. Now, if you're a shorter person, I'm like 6'1", that might be a problem, but it seems to work all right. It takes a minute to figure out exactly where to walk each time, and then I'm good. But then I can watch TV, I can sit there at my standing desk. Well, not sit there. I can walk there at my standing desk, or when I'm babysitting the lasers, and it's just pretty great. I will say that the distance on it never matches the distance on my Apple Watch, but that just seems to be a common issue with the Apple Watch itself. People constantly report that when they do treadmill or anything indoors, any indoor walking, the Apple Watch will grossly underreport your steps. So I was taking the indoor walking from the Apple Watch, and then like I would note how much I had walked before and after I did this. And then I was taking the treadmill distance and I was just averaging the two to kind of meet in the middle. So I probably walked a lot more than we're going to look at on the spreadsheet. But yeah, like I'm really happy with this thing. We'll see how many miles roughly I've done on this. I think about 3/4 of my walking has been from that. So we'll just use that to calculate. But I've done quite a bit of distance on this thing. There's no issues. I have lubricated it once as per the instructions. And yeah, like it's definitely got me moving a ton. I did go way too hard and heavy. I should not have started with 5 miles a day as a goal, considering how sedentary I was. I definitely felt it that first week or so. I was pretty miserable, and I had to up my protein a lot to kind of, yeah, deal with that. But yeah, like I really like this thing. And see, now the belt again is not quite in the right place. Like I'm telling you, I could have just forced it there for that opening shot, but I, just start, stop, because why work smarter when you can work harder, right? So yeah, let's take a look at the spreadsheet. I apologize that the audio is going to be a little different in here. My office is pretty echoey now. It's hardwood floors, and I removed some 3D printers. So yeah, we get a little bit more noise than I would like. If we look over here on the before goal, my daily average for the month of March was 1.61 miles. If we look after I got this little treadmill, then my daily average jumped to 6.83 miles. That's quite the difference there. So if we go ahead and add these up, I'm just using a static image, but I did 204.75 miles in the month of April. So if we're figuring 3/4 of that, we're talking about 153 miles, give or take, that I've done on that treadmill. Some days it was the bulk of my walking. Some days it was maybe half. But needless to say, I've done at least 100 miles on it, and I've not had any issues. The longest I've walked on it is about a little over an hour. I think it was like an hour and 5 minutes or something. When I was in that first week and I was really struggling, I was trying to knock the 5 miles out as quickly as I could on the treadmill, and then I'd pick up the rest of the day just from normal walking. So I did kind of suffer with that at the beginning, but overall, like, I'm really happy with it. Now, did I notice any like benefits or anything? My resting heart rate did go down a little, a few beats per minute toward the end of the month. I do sleep a little bit better the days that I seem to do more mileage, especially if I do that earlier in the day rather than later in the day. I try to do this like first thing in the morning, first 3 or 4 hours, just kind of get it knocked out. Not always the case on the weekends because, my wife's home and stuff, but during the week I try to like start my day with that, at least after I've done email and, kind of had breakfast and woken up and stuff. Other than that, like my blood pressure didn't change much. My blood pressure is high, but I didn't notice any profound impact. Just a bad night's sleep can change it more, or a good night's sleep can change it more than anything I saw. So hard to track that metric. But yeah, like the sleep benefit, definitely. I do get less winded now. I'm over 300 pounds at 6'1". I am a little heavy. That was probably good for my cardiovascular system. And we're now about 45 days into it. So I imagine I will continue to see improvement over the next few months. My wife and I both have bike ergs from Concept 2, and we liked to ride, but we kind of fell away from it for a year. Just life. My wife was doing a lot of stuff at school. She's a high school teacher. That kind of kept us busy. The walking thing's easy for me to do. I kind of feel bad when I ride the bike erg without her, so I can just do the walking. And on days we do the bike erg, maybe I won't try to hit my 5-mile walking goal going forward. She'll be coming up on summer break here pretty soon, so she'll have a lot more free time, and we'll probably ride a lot. And those days, maybe I won't push for that 5 miles. Maybe I'll push for 2 miles or something. But overall, I've been really happy with this thing. It's really affordable. I did not expect it to hold up. Honestly, I thought it would die. Now, this one's not rated for 300 pounds. I think it's rated for like 250 or 275. Now, I am over 300 pounds, and I have been walking on it. Probably not great for the life of it. It got me up and moving, so if it breaks and I have to buy another one, so be it. And hopefully I'll get under that weight limit, and then I'll be at the correct weight for it. They have lots of these out there, and I looked at a bunch of them, and this company kind of seemed to have like the best reviews, and I asked them some questions, and I got like competent English replies. And now I do have an affiliate code for this. Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. There is financial motivation there for me if you buy one through my link. Just disclose that. I mean, I have to by law. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it, and I hope I can continue this amount of increased physical activity. I really need to prioritize my health. I turned 40 in March. I've been overweight since I was like, I don't know, 18, 19. It's time to do something about that. I used to keep it somewhat under control when I was doing powerlifting and strongman, but I got engaged, and then lockdown happened, and then my coach had a stroke, and I just really haven't consistently touched weights since, almost not at all. And I got to get some kind of physical activity going. So we're going to do the walking. We're going to start using the bike erg more, and I kind of want to maybe do some hikes and stuff, and that'd be kind of fun. But anyway, I'm rambling. I really like this treadmill. If you want one for under your desk or for while you're watching TV or something, and you don't want a big cumbersome like regular old school treadmill, this thing is great. I'm 6'1", and once I figure out my walking cadence, I can walk fine on it without hitting those rollers. If you're shorter, your stride distance is going to be less. You're probably not going to have any issues at all. So yeah, consider checking it out. There is a link in the description. Again, it's an affiliate link. Do it if you want. Don't if you don't. See you in the next video.